Got me listening to Drake like that. Well, if I wasn't a rapper, I don't feel like I still would listen to Drake for real.
Drake really woke up and said, "Let me turn the rap game into a crime scene with a beat under it," because National Treasures has everybody acting like they just discovered a secret government file hidden inside an OVO hoodie. Fans are pausing every 2 seconds. Rappers are making faces like they heard their own name in court. And the internet is already putting lyrics on trial, like this is the Supreme Court of petty rap drama, and please. The reactions are not normal. One side is screaming that Drake is back outside rapping like Rent, Revenge, and Reputation all came due on the same morning, while the other side is acting like every bar needs a DNA test, a witness statement, and a full breakdown from academics, wearing reading glasses. This is not just music commentary anymore. This is WWE promo night mixed with Marvel. Post-credit scene confusion, because the second National Treasures started making noise. The timeline turned into a messy courtroom, where everybody suddenly became a lyrical detective with zero badge and maximum confidence. Rappers are listening closely, fans are catching possible shots, and every pause in Drake's delivery is being treated like evidence in a federal case. But the real chaos is not just what Drake said, it is who people think he said it about. The second Drake's National Treasures started moving around the internet, the whole rap timeline turned into one giant emergency group chat with no admin, no rules, and way too many people typing in all caps. It was not just another song drop where fans argue for 20 minutes, make a few memes, and then move on, like nothing happened. No. This one had people leaning toward their speakers like Drake had hidden classified information between the drums, the ad-libs, and that icy little tone he uses when he wants everybody nervous. The reaction was instant, messy, and suspiciously dramatic, because fans were not just asking if the song was good. They were asking who got hit, who deserved it, and who was about to respond. And that is where the chaos really started, because National Treasures did not land like a casual album cut thrown into the world for vibes and playlist filler. It landed like Drake walked into the booth with a grudge, a calculator, a contact list, and the emotional patience of a reality TV reunion chair flying across the stage. Fans started breaking down every bar like they were studying for the LSAT, pausing lines, rewinding delivery, comparing names, connecting old beefs, and acting like every breath had a hidden target. Before anyone could even enjoy the beat properly, the internet had already turned the track into a full investigation with suspect boards, red string, and people screaming. That was definitely about him. The backstory made everything even louder because Drake has been moving through one of the strangest chapters of his career, where every release is judged like a comeback, a confession, and a revenge speech at the same time. After all the public rap drama, all the industry whispers, and all the debates about whether the throne was wobbling, fans were waiting to see if Drake would come back smooth or come back swinging. So when National Treasures came with that sharp energy, people instantly treated it like a temperature check for the whole rap game, not just one song on a project. It felt like everybody had been standing around the ring waiting for the bell, and Drake finally stepped through the ropes with entrance music dramatic enough for WrestleMania. What made the build-up even messier was how quickly the reaction video space grabbed the moment and turned it into live entertainment, because nothing fuels rap drama faster than rappers reacting to rappers, possibly dissing rappers. That is not a reaction anymore. That is a courtroom sketch with headphones, facial expressions, and somebody pausing the track at the most suspicious moment possible. You had people laughing like they caught a stray, people getting quiet like the bar landed too close to home, and fans in the comments acting like the whole industry had been summoned for questioning. Every nod, every smirk, every awkward silence became evidence. Because the internet does not simply watch reactions anymore. It cross-examines them like a judge with unlimited WI-fee. Then came the fan breakdowns. And that is when things went from spicy to completely unhinged. Because social media treated the lyrics like a treasure map written by a petty billionaire. Pirate. One fan would say the song was clearly aimed at one rapper. Another would say it was about an ex-friend. And 5 more would appear, claiming it was actually about industry betrayal, basketball, politics, loyalty, and revenge. The comment section started looking like Marvel timeline theories, with people saying, "Remember what happened in 2024? Remember that interview? Remember that unfollow?" And suddenly, everybody had become a historian. Drake did. Not even need to name names directly for chaos to erupt, because the audience was already doing unpaid detective work like rent was due. And of course, the critics and casual listeners came in with their own attitude, because whenever Drake drops anything aggressive, the internet splits into 2 dramatic armies immediately. One side starts yelling that he is back in rap mode, that the pen is awake, and that people better stop acting like he forgot how to talk reckless over expensive production. The other side rolls its eyes so hard you can hear it through the screen, saying he is dragging old tension, hiding behind slick wording, and letting fans create drama where the music should speak for itself. That contradiction is exactly why the song caught fire. Because whether people loved it or doubted it, everybody was still listening, replaying, arguing, and accidentally helping it spread. The messy foundation was built on one simple question. Was Drake just rapping with confidence? Or was he sending carefully wrapped shots through the industry like designer explosives? That question turned the song from music into a public guessing game. And once fans started assigning names to bars, the whole conversation became impossible to control. Every rapper mentioned by fans became part of the story whether they wanted to be or not, and every silent response started looking suspicious because silence online is never allowed to just be silence. If somebody posted a selfie, fans called it a response. If somebody posted nothing, fans called that a response too. Because internet logic has officially left the building, the wild part is that National Treasures did not need one single confirmed explosion to feel explosive, because the tension around Drake is already heavy enough to make every lyric sound like a warning label. When an artist with that much history, that many relationships, and that many public wins and losses starts rapping cold again, people are going to treat every line like it belongs in a museum of grudges. That is why the title itself started feeling ironic, almost like Drake was saying the real treasure is not money, jewelry, or status, but the secrets people hope never get turned into punchlines. And once fans caught that vibe, the track stopped being just a song and became a messy little industry mirror nobody wanted held too close. So now, the stage is set, and it is already ugly before the real arguments even begin. Because the first wave of reactions made one thing painfully clear. Everybody heard something different, but nobody heard nothing. Some fans heard hunger, some heard bitterness, some heard strategy, and some heard Drake trying to remind the rap world that his silence should never be mistaken for surrender. Meanwhile, rappers are watching the reactions, fans are clipping the most dramatic pauses, and the whole timeline is turning into Zeus backstage after somebody said the wrong name in the wrong room. But the most dangerous part is not the bar people caught first. It is the bar fans are still trying to decode, because that one might be where the real damage starts. Then the second wave hit. And suddenly, National Treasures was not being treated like a song anymore. It became a whole neighborhood argument, with better production value. Fans were clipping reaction faces, slowing down bars, zooming into rappers' expressions, and acting like a 3-second silence meant somebody just got emotionally subpoenaed. The internet was moving like a messy jury that had already reached a verdict before hearing the evidence. Because everybody wanted Drake's lyrics to mean something violent. And the funniest part is, Half the people breaking it down were arguing with the confidence of lawyers, while clearly surviving off vibes, trauma, and Wi-Fi. Rappers reacting to the track made everything worse in the best possible way. Because every little head nod suddenly became a headline waiting to happen. If somebody laughed, fans said they caught the shot. If somebody looked serious, fans said they knew exactly who Drake was talking about. If somebody paused too fast, boom, conspiracy unlocked. It was giving WWE backstage camera energy, where one person whispers in the hallway and suddenly the whole locker room is flipping tables before the commercial break. Drake did not even have to walk into the room because the reactions were doing the dramatic. Entrance for him with smoke machines and unpaid emotional damage. And then the comment. Sections became pure madness. Like the Kardashians had launched a family group chat during a cheating scandal and accidentally made it public. You had one side saying Drake was rapping like the old monster came back with receipts, while another side swore fans were overreaching and turning regular bars into criminal evidence. Some people were praising the delivery, some were arguing about the targets, and some were just there to scream. He said what he said without explaining a single thing. That is when you know the song has officially crossed into viral chaos, because nobody agrees. Everybody is loud. And somehow, the confusion makes it more addictive. The memes came flying in next. And once memes enter a rap debate, the truth gets thrown out the window, wearing designer sunglasses. People were comparing Drake to a Marvel villain collecting industry secrets like Infinity Stones, saying every bar sounded like another gem snapping somebody's confidence into dust. Others were making courtroom edits, putting reaction clips beside lyrics like Drake had just entered evidence against half the rap game with a beat drop as his opening statement. It was ridiculous, dramatic, and completely unserious, which naturally means the internet treated it like the most important cultural event since a reality star cried in a Sprinter van. But underneath all the jokes, there was a real tension sitting there, because fans could feel Drake trying to regain control of the narrative. This was not the soft champagne caption version of Drake, not the beach view Instagram Drake, not the let me float on a melody and make everybody emotional Drake. This felt closer to the cold version, the one that smiles politely while sharpening a sentence sharp enough to ruin somebody's morning. And whether people loved it or hated it, they could tell the energy was different. Like he was no longer asking for approval. He was daring people to misunderstand him. That is why the fan outrage became so contradictory, because people were mad for completely opposite reasons at the exact same time. Some were mad because they thought he was being too direct. Others were mad because they thought he was being too vague. And another group was mad because the song was getting too much attention. It was internet courtroom energy at its finest, with everyone yelling objection while secretly replaying the same verse for the 10th time. Drake had the timeline moving like a Zeus backstage fight, where nobody knows who started it. Everybody claims they are calm. And somehow, security is always late. The wild analogies kept getting crazier because fans could not just say the track was intense. They had to turn it into a full cinematic universe. One side painted Drake like Iron Man, returning after the team doubted him, building a lyrical suit in a cave made of criticism, old beefs, and luxury studio lighting. Another side said he was moving like a reality TV villain who sits quietly at dinner, lets everyone talk reckless, then pulls out screenshots before dessert. And honestly, that is exactly why National Treasures hit the way it did, because the drama around the track became bigger than any single lyric. Meanwhile, a bigger question kept floating over everything. Were rappers laughing because the bars were clever, or because they knew the industry gossip behind them? That little difference is dangerous, because once fans believe insiders are reacting to hidden information, the song stops being entertainment and starts feeling like a leaked conversation with rhythm. Every chuckle became suspicious. Every side-eye became a clue, and every replay felt like somebody was trying to catch the moment where the room realized what Drake meant. It was less like watching a music reaction and more like watching people recognize a name in a secret document, then pretend they absolutely did not by the end of the escalation. National Treasures had already done the thing every viral rap moment dreams of doing. It made people argue about meaning instead of just ranking the song. Nobody could simply say whether they liked the beat, the flow, or the hook, because the discourse had already hijacked the whole conversation like a reality TV producer with no morals. Fans were picking sides, rappers were being watched like suspects, and every new reaction clip added another layer to a story that was already messy enough to need its own security team. But the real problem is that once the internet decides a track contains hidden shots, the next chapter is not about the song anymore. It is about who flinches first by the time the dust started pretending to settle. National Treasures had already done more damage to the timeline than a leaked group chat at a celebrity birthday dinner. The song was no longer just being played. It was being studied, debated, clipped, dragged, praised, and tossed into every rap conversation like evidence nobody asked for, but everybody wanted to touch. Fans were suddenly treating Drake's delivery like a mood ring for the entire industry, saying every pause sounded personal, every punchline felt calculated, and every confident bar came with a little shadow behind it. And that is where the emotional fallout got weird, because people were not just reacting to the music anymore. They were reacting to what they thought the music might expose next. The aftermath hit hardest because Drake's name already carries too much baggage for a simple release to remain simple, especially after the last few years of public debates, lyrical battles, and fan-made scoreboards. Every new song from him now walks into the room with security, tension, and 12 different narratives trying to grab the microphone first. So when National Treasures gave listeners that colder, sharper energy, fans immediately started asking whether this was a reset, a warning, or Drake quietly reopening files people thought were buried. That uncertainty became the fuel, because nothing drives the internet crazier than a song that gives just enough smoke for everybody to start imagining the fire. Reputations started shifting in real time, because the conversation was not only about whether Drake sounded hungry, it was about who looked nervous while listening. Some rappers reacting to the track seemed entertained, some seemed impressed, and some had those little frozen moments that fans immediately turned into memes, with crime scene music playing in the background. Nobody had to admit anything for the audience to start building stories, because in internet court, body language is apparently a confession, silence is a response, and laughter is suspicious if it lasts half a second too long. The whole thing became a messy public experiment where every reaction clip either boosted Drake's aura or made people question which rapper suddenly felt the room temperature drop. Then the alliances conversation started creeping in, because fans love nothing more than deciding who is secretly on whose side based on one repost, one emoji, or one suspiciously timed caption. Some listeners said the track made Drake feel like he was pulling his supporters back into formation, reminding everyone that even when the crown gets questioned, the fanbase still knows how to mobilize. Others argued that the industry was moving differently now, that some artists were listening with respect but not fear, and that Drake's biggest challenge was no longer attention but control. That debate made the aftermath feel heavier, because it suggested National Treasures was not just a flex. It was a test of whether the room still reacts when Drake clears his throat. Public confusion only made the story stronger, because nobody could agree on what the most important bar even was. And that is usually how you know a rap moment has officially escaped containment. One group was focused on the aggression, another was stuck on possible subliminals. another was arguing over delivery, and another was simply enjoying the fact that the timeline finally had something messy to chew on. It was like a reality TV reunion where every cast member heard a different insult. The host lost the cards, and the audience somehow became louder than the people on stage. And through all that noise, Drake stayed at the center without needing to explain a thing. Which is either genius marketing or the most chaotic accident possible. The future impact is where things get dangerous. Because once a song becomes a guessing game, the next move from anybody even remotely connected to the conversation will be treated like a response. If another rapper drops a hard verse, fans will connect it back to national treasures. If someone posts a cryptic caption, the internet will drag it into the storyline with zero hesitation. That means Drake may have created a ripple effect. Without naming names clearly, letting the audience do the messy work while he watches the reactions multiply like reality TV spin-offs. And that is the part people keep overlooking, because the song did not just spark conversation. It set a trap where everyone reacting too loudly risks looking involved. But the unexpected twist is that the biggest question might not be who Drake was aiming at, but why this track made so many people feel like somebody was being aimed at in the first place. That says something about the temperature of rap right now, where every confident line sounds like a threat. Every sharp delivery feels like a receipt, and every fan base is ready to turn headphones into war rooms. National Treasures became a mirror for a culture that wants answers. Targets, villains, heroes, and drama served hot before the beat even finishes. So if this was only the beginning of Drake's next chapter, then the real story is not what fans already decoded. It is what happens when the people being watched decide whether to stay quiet or finally swing back. Now listen. If National Treasures had you pausing bars like a detective with trust issues, go ahead and smash that like button like it owes you money, rent, and an apology. Because Drake did not drop a regular track. He dropped a lyrical escape room, and now the whole internet is inside arguing over clues with no flashlight. Drop your comment below and tell us who you think Drake was really aiming at, because somebody heard those bars and immediately started breathing manually. And please do not act innocent, because if you replayed one line three times while wait, who was that about? You are already part of the mess. Subscribe to The Rap Truth, because we are not here to politely nod at rap drama like it is background music in a dentist office. We are breaking down the bars, the reactions, the messy fan theories, the rapper side eyes, and every little suspicious pause that makes the timeline start sweating. Turn on notifications too, because the next response, subliminal interview clip, or shady caption might be the moment this whole thing jumps from music talk to full industry chaos. Until then, keep your ears open, your comments reckless, and your theories slightly unhinged, because this is The Rap Truth.